Welcome out, gamers and gamettes, to this RGL.GG Season 19 main Highlander match. I am Alto, joined by Rogue to my side, Dolphin behind the camera as always, and after all of the crazy action we saw last night, we're cooling down a little bit, taking it chill, dipping down into main to cast Meelo versus Nonagon Infinity. Rogue, how you doing tonight?
I'm good. Still reeling from the action last night, seeing the imposters run it nearly to the end and stumbling just before. This is my definitely a feel good kind of match here, seeing some nice intense games out of these main teams. Got a very nice gorgeous glass of whiskey with me and I'm ready for action.
Ooh, okay. Really are relaxed casts then, as yeah, matches in invite and advance not quite up to snuff for us this week. So going down into main, where both of these two teams coming in, likely going to be vying for main placement. Teamy McDweemy currently sitting 5-0 in main, having given a loss to both of these two teams. Nonagon having dropped really what is an upset loss to Mommy Men on Cascade. But I think really, kind of the consensus 2 versus 3 seeds right here. So lots of expectations coming into this. And let's run down the rosters real quick, get familiar with the names we will be seeing. On the side of Meelo, it will be Redacted on Scout, Thomas on Soldier, Tyler the Destroyer on Pyro, Squid on Demo Man, Sandwich, who I believe is ringing heavy, Untamed on Engineer, Alex on Medic, Stranger on Sniper, and Spock ASD on Spy.
On the side of Nonagon Infinity, we've got Goose on Scout, Danmark33 on Soldier, Dakota playing Pyro, Doctrine on Demo Man, Kega Man, much love playing Heavy. Then Local Man on Engineer. Local Man plays Engineer. Salty Pepper. Yeah, Salty Pepper here on Medic. Nova Scout on Sniper. And finally Lemon on Spy.
Yep. And should be a pretty good match coming into this one as looking at these two teams, I've recognized, Thomas is kind of been around the main advance scene for a while, always been a very competent player. Untamed's a name I've seen a decent amount. Alex as well, over on the side of Nonagon, Dakota, Danmar, some well-known names to people of that div. Nova Scout as well, so I'm glad to see doing well in the div. And Kegaman, as you said, you know him, you love him. Shoutouts to the homie. Anyone, any names you recognize here, Rogue? Anyone you might be looking at?
No, I am very excited to, have quips like Local Man dies in Shudder or something like that. But, Thomas is someone that actually, like you mentioned, has played a lot. And I always find that interesting. Maybe I'll even ask you since you have experience here too, but like having kind of that mix of players who are just coming up the ranks, maybe it's their first season in main, versus players with years of experience here in Highlander, someone like Thomas. What does it look like to bring that sort of, veteran savvy to a team of up-and-comers?
Well, I'll kind of sidestep the question a little bit and say why, after being in this game for so long, I think main is probably my favorite division. It's probably where I land naturally skill-wise if I'm not playing Medic, but maybe that could even be a little bit generous. But also because it's the first division where I think gameplay really starts to resemble what it looks like from an invite perspective, but the players are both new enough and there's kind of enough, be it a combo of you have experienced players who might be reinforcing the meta or trying new things versus new players who are either trying new things or unaware of the meta, right? That you have a lot more variance to me that I feel than you see in regular, invite Highlander, where some, maybe suboptimal from a high invite perspective strats can work a little bit more. You see people going for maybe plays they wouldn't play otherwise, and feels like there's a lot of things that can work because it's much more easier to win with off-meta things than that. So to kind of bring it around to your question, right, it always feels like a bit of a tug of war between, you have kind of the old heads who will maybe try to reinforce the meta more often than not, versus a lot of the newer players who can kind of be, sparks for mentioned, or you flip that switch, you have the older players who've, kind of been around the block and they're wanting to experiment, try new things, and the newer players who are trying to really, wisen up to the meta. So could go either way, lots of variance, and I'm very excited to see what comes out, because you might see regular standard Asheville holds, you might see teams be a little bit more aggressive, try to get forward towards Shutter, get all the way up on bats, but not always the greatest decision making. Not as an insult, just oftentimes due to lack of experience. So the games break the script a lot.
Sure, well said. I guess they're studied enough to understand what the textbook of TF2 says, but they're also modern enough to kind of challenge those beliefs and be willing to experiment, go outside the box. I guess, does that inspire sort of a prediction for you between these two teams here on Asheville?
I'm very interested because from some of the research I did ahead of time, Meelo pretty easily beat Mommy Men, who Nonagon barely lost to, although apparently Nonagon was missing their demo. I'm going to say I think I like Meelo a little bit better here. Just kind of a gut feeling, but I'm going to say 4-3.
Got it. All right. I don't think I know enough of these players to make a super strong prediction myself in either direction.
Go 4-3 for Kegaman.
Yeah, it's got to be 4-3
Kegaman. Opposed on the desk.
As it looks like we're getting into it as well.
Yep, it will be Meelo on the red team, Nonagon on the blue. Starting off here as it will be Doctrine against Squid on the mid. First bomb going to be a little bit off to the side by Demmer, but Stranger opens up to Nonagon, so sniper advantage right now for Meelo. Slow mid otherwise, especially compared to what we saw last night. Salty Pepper, great surge out on two fans. And it just barely stay alive from that bomb out of Thomas, and that might be enough of them to turn it around. That said, Kega going to get wrangled down, but I think keeping that combo up going to be the win there. So great turnaround right there from Nonagon.
Well, normally I feel like there's a principle of mid fights where if you get aggressive first, you have to hope it works. And actually Squid walked forward on point and stayed for it for so long that it's surely this must work eventually. But yeah, somehow the Nonagon kind of stuck to their guns and managed to hold it down. Right now, they're continuing to roll here as there's a nice snipe from Nova Scout onto Stranger.
Exactly, and that's just going to let them play wider on point, continue this hold. Ubers are going to be exchanged out of Shutter, Squid jumping forward. Couple flashes on the defense, but they have so much pressure. The slightly shorter Uber not going to matter. Danmar finds Redacted off on the side of this. Doctrine getting hit up low, maybe a little bit too forward, and Squid with the stickies going to find Salty Pepper. More frags coming in after the medic. I didn't even see where Squid found that from. Nova Scout going to take out the Pyro walking up there. Sack coming back in from Damar, but Alex going to just barely stay alive. Kega coming up, I believe that might have been from lower. It's a kill onto Sandwich, but Alex once again staying alive. Going to back up, I think, get that pack. 40% ad right now for Meelo.
I was surprised to see a solo demo Uber in the Year of Our Lord. Now, it ended up working very well, I think, where the team kind of collapsed from the high ground after the fact. But yeah, you have a lot harder of a time, I think, by not kind of spreading out your damage in an Uber by taking only one person. But hey, cheers to Meelo, they managed to... Yeah, look at this high ground they're playing, actually. Engineer plus Mini plus Scout, Soldier Watch on the other side. It's really difficult for the offense to peak here, and Alex has 50% Uber advantage on point.
Yeah, I'm going to try to draw a line off of two dots that we just saw. It's twice now that Doctrine's been playing really far forward, gotten punished by Squid for it. Now Squid going to pick up another kill onto Goose. Stranger winning it onto Nova Scout, so defensive snipers really doing well right now. The Uber coming up on the side of Salty Pepper, but with Nova Scout just spawning, they may delay a little bit. Sniper takes the telly. Should be good to go soon. But they're already down two right as the Uber comes out of Shutter. Great pop coming out of Meelo, and Sandwich is underneath bats. Lurking, waiting, already revved. Spot with the ambi headshot off the Nova Scout. I think that's just about wrapped for this push.
We have a Sandwich kind of going for the little push. Wait a second, Thomas putting so much damage, getting Doctrine, and even more rockets. They kind of can't stop Thomas here. When they're all grouped up like that, those rockets are hitting, 140 damage each. Great shots there. Sandwich continuing to kind of apply this pressure in downtime. You're off Uber seat, so you don't want to let them get comfortable. And I think he's revved up around the corner, but with a full minigun that they can hear. It's not the Tomislav. But hey, great, like, denied crit heals, bought some time on the clock. Still pushing in, manages to take out Pegaman here. So much pressure coming out of Sandwich, and finally the Uber pop.
Yeah, Sandwich getting away with so much there, taking out Keg is huge before this fight. As you said, Uber coming out, Lemon's going to find Stranger as well. Salty Pepper is going to be forward on this point right now. Alex still has Uber though, kiting all the way back into Shutter. Captain just starting to come through Sandwich, likely going to go down. Uber comes out, great air blast right there from Dakota to force the demo off to the side. Likely going to stall a lot of that pressure, means that really Dakota going to be the only one going down when it could have been a lot worse. That said, Cap hasn't come back in yet, but those shorter spawns doing a lot for Nonagon as they'll come in and take the point eventually.
Danmar here buying a lot of space, making sure Stranger can't stay scoped up here on Bats. Now kind of hiding in secret. Untamed actually clearing the ramp pretty effectively here. So we're gonna have to watch out, see if they get the sniper set up. But there we go, a nice healing support from the crossbow way downtown. So a lot of nothing so far, but there is still a slight Uber add-on Salty Pepper.
Exactly, yeah, and that's going to always be good when you have the point. Just makes everything kind of sitting in your hands. No worry, need to worry about an ad. Alex going to come up on Uber right now. Uses right away. Love to see that. Squid's gonna jump forward again. That solo demo. Dakota jumping forward, trying to go for the chase, but a quick back out means not too much gonna happen. Counter espionage from Lemon onto Spot. Thomas gonna go down next. Repush coming in, but Meelo already down two. Untamed with a good surf out onto Fans. Stranger though finding one onto Doctrine. Nova Scout answering onto somebody. Both combos down, and Team Kega on boxes right now is huge. Lemon as well onto Squid. Gonna probably be it for this push. Meelo forced to back off, and we're about to see even at times.
Yeah, that like backwards surf from Untamed was so smooth. I'm like my mood has been improved by that surf. Now we are in downtime here, and this is when you want to see like more of an aggressive push. Basically, the offense here, or sorry, actually Meelo here, like pushing into point, had time for a sack and then to repush with Uber. They opted to just like pass up the first one and go back in with Uber, but great, getting the sniper pick first of all is going to open up this Uber exchange for sure.
Yeah, exactly, and we are coming right back onto it as well. Lemon lurking underneath Bats, but Uber's going to come out early, not to despite anything to do, and Squid gets dropped. That Spy causing so much havoc, going to maybe just make them kind of lose their heads a bit. That will be Dakota getting forward, get some good WM1 in. Stranger almost burning out. Finally will the afterburn ends, but Lemon comes right in. They're walking into the point, but getting mulched as they do so. Lemon now on a 3 streak, picks up Squid right at the end, and it will be Nonagon coming into the first round.
That WM1 made a difference to me, because denying those crit heals when a team wants to push in together is suffocating. Like, instead of your team pushing in with a full buff, like 150 HP, they're pushing in with like 80% HP. And that's already like basically half a kill just by denying that heal from happening.
Exactly, yeah. So we come in onto the second mid right now, mirrored with both scouts. Them are going to be the first one jumping, fades out to Bats like before. As Thomas now going all the way in, going to get some good damage on Dakota, but he'll eventually have to settle the kill onto Doctrine. Spock helping out with that. Thomas will go down. There was enough pressure, it's going to force the team out. Salty Pepper already back onto Bats. This time the mid going much more solidly in favor of Nonagon.
Yes, 80% Uber here, and wow, Stranger going down right away. For anyone unfamiliar, you have a longer respawn time when you have the point. Again, favors aggression. So that means there's a almost 20-second respawn timer plus the time to walk the point. Danmar is a real menace out here. Lemon just coming in now. Suddenly they're kind of falling apart here for Meelo. They've taken the Pyro shotgun Uber, flashing the scout at the last second. But yeah, these respawn timers are brutal. Still a combo for Meelo is down. Only Thomas and the spy player here, Spock, getting taken out at the last moment. Going for the medic, doing some damage, not enough. So there's a solid ad here, and it looks like we're going to be holding the point for the Nonagon.
Oh, but Danmar going in deep onto Bats. Good surf by Alex, but now forced to run forward. Lemon getting in on the chase. Alex will not make it out from under Bats. that late death going to sting because it's just so much longer now until you get Uber. But, you know, as you were saying, just... Actually, I just brain farted, I'm sorry. I was thinking about the Demomens, because they're both doing a lot this game, but, you know, it's a lot of high risk, high reward. They're playing really forward, but you're seeing a lot of times they're getting caught out. And it kind of is feeling like whoever, you know, swings a little bit too far is the one who ends up losing in the end, as a good dry aggro right now coming in from the side of Meelo. They know Salty Pepper's about to be up on Uber, maybe trying to force it, and with Nova Scout down, they have a chance, but Goose in the backline finds Alex, finds Stranger up on Bats. They get the force out of Salty Pepper, but there's no ad to be had.
The melee rap assassin kill, that's when you don't see. Oh wait, local man gets stabbed in Shutter. It just happened.
So what we've been waiting for. As the Sax do come in, Salty Pepper with a heads up dip into Shutter. Will just barely stay alive. Got the Uber Force last time, but will stay alive this time. And Alex, I'm not sure if they went down or just didn't have anyone to heal. Only 30% to Salty Pepper's 50, so that ad remaining even after the death.
On this high ground here, yeah, I'm loving the way these soldiers are actually, like, again, controlling a lot of the map here. Like, Untamed and Thomas can't really get set up here. Wow, Untamed almost goes down for it, which is nuts. But now Lemon coming here to support. Having the spy on the ramp really helps coordinate with the soldier, right? So the spy's now calling there's 3 people here. You're playing to disengage, and bam, as soon as Stanmar sees 2, backs up. Lemon actually, wait, Equinox is not found. Pepper, Squid, wait, yeah. There's a lot of players named Salt and Pepper recently. We saw Colonel Salt yesterday, Salty Pepper on Medic. In any case, Meelo is getting mulched here. The defense is indomitable so far. And you can feel that from that map control. Like you said, they've been doing their demo reviews, reading the TF2 textbook, and
They have
yeah,
the
they're not
strats
going to
notebook. How can we stop them? As they're going to get forward onto Bats right here. Thomas going to jump forward, force them back, play more passive on Fan. Spock, unfortunately, runs into them. Uber popped out on Shutter. Great air blasts right there. Northern Red Fire going to blow them back. Squid gonna be levitated outside of Shutter, but finds kills onto Goose and Dakota. Denmark gonna be next. That Uber was a big overextension right there. Squid going to get sniped out, but with Pegaman going down, not too much gonna happen. I think we just had a little bit of lag. This wrangled mini though, from local man's mini to Shutter. And they're still holding on to this. I really was expecting the Captain to start coming in, but that mini did so much work.
Yeah, that's when you know it's desperate times when there's like the laser light show on point, both wrangled minis, you know, firing across the bow. But here we go. Meelo actually opted to stay forward with their team. They lose their heavy for it, but they're saying, no, we refuse to give up this space. And in doing so, wait a second, Denmark is still alive. He gets the whip kill on the Squid. Wow, it's like, hey, we're going to fight you before you have a chance to get to our medic, but in all of that action, Alex ended up going down low, but not taken out. Has 10% ad, and this is exactly what they need, basically, to hold points a little longer. Bought time for those spawns. Here comes the counter Uber out of Salty Pepper in a couple seconds.
And this is overtime, so 1 cap is all you need. Would like to see a little bit more forward pressure right now from Meelo to deny more ground, as we are going to see the Ubers popped up. Comes up first in the defense. Salty Pepper milked for a really long time. This is a way better Uber on the offense. Sandwich walking forward, but that's going to fade. He's going to die before it even ends. Sandwich, Stranger, Alex, all going down. 3 and 3, 4 for Lemon. Coming in, absolutely tearing up the back line. 3 stabs, a 3-piece combo, and a biscuit on the side. That is a 2-0 half going over for Nonagon.
Redacted, you know, just getting that one for the homies, like, just as Lemon was taunting on point, Redacted just charged forward and managed to take them out, but there we go, a quick 2-0 half on the side of Nonagon Infinity.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm very interested in the logs here because I'm very honed in on the demo deaths right now, and I'm interested to see where that goes. Actually, yeah, sorting by deaths, when your demo man is tying your spy, it doesn't bode well. I mean, that being said, not a terrible stat line for Squid, right? I mean, still almost putting out 500 DPM, you know, second fragging the team overall, but when you're dying that often on demo, right? Area denial and time spent denying something is not something that shows up in your logs. You know, playing very high octane, going in to die, get a bunch of damage, and repeat, leaves so many windows for your team to just get pushed on. And that's kind of exactly what we're seeing.
Yeah, I always looked at the soldiers in times like this because you expect the soldier stat line on a Koth map like this to be like not great. Like for example, like Thomas's stat line here: 8 kills, 10 deaths, 300 damage. That's like right in the middle of the road for soldier stat lines here on a Koth map like Asheville, because like yes, you can do a lot of damage and like burst damage, single target damage, splash damage, everything, but you're the one who has to sack for the medic and make sure you die for it, and you're the one who has to like just like maintain the flank and then fall off it. So like if half your bombs fail and then all this kind of stuff. So that's why it amazes me when a soldier does particularly well from the stat line. So Danmar going 14-6, like a KD of more than 2, to me is amazing. Like number one, to like find those timings of when you can get that impact and get those not just kills but also almost 150 more damage per minute over Thomas. Like finding the time for that damage and then capitalizing on that damage and turning it into kills. That's something that's super impressive to me for a soldier to be able to like have impact while not feeding.
Yeah, definitely. And as we're saying, being able to stay alive in any situation is always better than dying, right? Not that there's not times to die and you can't get value out of doing that, but if you can add that value while staying alive and just being a number on the board, it always adds a lot more. Something I want to add, looking at the death. Nova Scout is actually top deathing on Sniper, tied with Squid and Spock. Nova Scout has more deaths than their Spy, which is not something you want to see out of your Sniper, but, when your Sniper's always dead and the enemy team's demo is always dead, it almost evens itself out a little bit. And just looking at these death spreads, very interesting. Nova Scout, dying 7 times to the pick classes in 2 rounds is a lot, but not the worst. Add on another 3 soldier kills and a scout death, and that's going to do it. But on the side of Squid, also with that 11 deaths, a lot of the times if you see a demo man feeding, you're thinking, oh, they're getting rolled in the combo or he's just walking into sightlines, right? No. 1 death to the demo, 1 death to the sniper, and then 4 to spy, 3 to soldier, 2 to scout. Danmar is finding kills onto Squid without even needing to sack for them, and Lemon just going ham in the combo. So they're killing Nova Scout. They just need to keep Squid alive as we move into the second half.
2-0 for Nonagon Infinity over Meelo so far in these in this main match here on Asheville. Lemon the first death, Squid following right after. Sandwich kind of like sells that here on point, and Alex is caught a little bit far forward. Thomas flying into the skybox and getting Salty Pepper. That is going to open this mid back up only after Alex backs away safely, but Goose is in behind enemy lines, not opting to feed for the medic here. Just backing up, capturing the point, and playing around this out here for Nonagon Infinity.
Maybe the most interesting mid result, you win mid while losing your medic, right? Because it's going to set up some very uneven gameplay. They're going to get the cap off, but some of the players they dropped, and that was Spock getting some kills of the gun on the side. It's going to be an immediate recap, and, all my interesting imbalance has gone to waste when it's a 15-second cap, and now it's just, the team with their medic still alive is going to have the point in the ad. So 50% on Salty Pepper, coming up on 60. Looks like there may be time for a sack, but Stranger going to pick out Nova Scout right away. Means they can play as wide as they need to. Lemon coming in, gonna get caught out. And Danmar coming in, finds some damage in, but it's not gonna be enough. Alex sitting pretty in Shutter, walks back out. I thought they might have had something with Spock. Meanwhile, on the back end, picks up 3 with the revolver, sees Lemon and says, I can do that too. Sandwich going to pick up some more on the post as well. Those stragglers coming in at a bit of a bad time. But Goose is going to get the main kill onto Alex. Managed to drop at the very end. Really wanted to milk that, not give it up, but it will cost Alex at the end.
Set up on point here, yeah, there's this, 30% ad. You want to take this now. You have better heals and you have a better spawn timer. So you want to actually take this fight before the medic comes up. Instead, Nonagon Infinity, very politely, just kind of waiting around. They want it to be a fair fight, It's like we don't want to, push on that kind of an advantage. Now that both meds are back in action, Nova Scout getting the first pick on Thomas, then Sandwich falls. Kegaman stabbed out soon after. So this Uber ad looks like will not be too big of an issue as he strive push works across point.
Yeah, losing Sandwich is going to be big, but Stranger really helping even it up. That said, Nova Scout now going to take the sniper. Both snipers dead at the same time. They're really mirroring their kills right now. And it's going to be Dakota and Thomas next. The Uber comes out from Salty Pepper. Alex only at 65, heading for the hills, out from ramp. But Redacted and Untamed staying in pretty deep. Untamed, I think he's trying to go down with his ship. Maybe will end up making it out. And he buys time for Squid and the rest of the combo to come out of Shutter. Lemon collapsing in, though, finds Untamed. but that's not going to be enough to really get the combo back in. Those spawns come back, which seems to be over. Danmar coming in, getting the force out of Alex, though. Second time's the charm right now, and it's going to be enough for them to hold it, but Salty Pepper sitting on a lot of Uber ad, but not a lot of time.
Yeah, this it's always so daunting. Like, we basically for Nonagon Infinity have taken no time off the clock. Versus there's only 45 seconds left on the side of Meelo. So even if you win this fight once, you have to win it and hold it for a while. And right now they're opting again to wait for this Uber. Yes, you're down one player, but you know now finally by the time the Ubers fade, it's going to be overtime rather than having at least a little bit of time to play with. So risky business out here for Nonagon Infinity taking a shutter.
Yep, Uber coming in super fast. Great air blast out of the red pyro though to stop it. Spock and Tom's going to get caught out on the side as well. 2 kills for both sides overall, but way more presence right now in favor of Nonagon. They're going to cap that up finally, but they are heavily down in time. Almost 2.5 minutes right now as Goose picks up Stranger, but great shot by Nova Scout on the Squid. This Uber has lost a lot of its teeth right now. It's going to be a Scout and a Pyro walking forward. They can just walk calmly away. Nova Scout picks up another onto Untamed, and it's going to be even more kills for Nonagon. Sandwich and Spock going to be next. Kega, I think he collapsed up from lower right there. Finds a ton of pressure and kills before going down. That said, Kega, Doctrine, and Salty Pepper. Squid 1v3's the combo. Sets up the run around. To go recap, he will eventually go down, but that's the time to die.
Yeah, that quick 4K, I can't believe it. Yeah, all 4 of them going down to Squid. Amazing play here. Now the team just gets a free walk up to point. 8 seconds left on the clock. That's a round win if I've ever seen one. Really well played.
Squid with one more death for the logs right as the cap coming in. That said, I mean, they are going to come in right now. Sandwich very far forward, not getting the support that they need. Danmar coming in, gets some damage, but is pretty deep. Kills coming in favor right now of the side of Nonagon, and losing Squid there may have actually hurt them. They're going to make it to overtime, but that's about it. As Nonagon not willing to give up on this round, come roaring back in. They still have 2 minutes on the clock, but they're not giving up. Uber now coming out of Alex. Squid jumping forward. The action never ends. Doctrine going to juke for their life. Finally goes down, but Dakota running in finds it to be one onto Alex. Frags being traded back and forth, one at a time. Numbers, though, finally favoring Nonagon, and they're going to hold on to this. So overtime remains. That's Salty Pepper dropping to a gun.
Oh, wow. Lemon I saw with another quick 3K, 2 with the knife, 1 with the revolver. So yeah, like kind of finding that timing to thread the needle of like, I want to come in after they're all really hurt and after they're all super distracted, kind of that chaos moment. Doing a great job salvaging these fights later on. So yeah, we have kind of almost a hard reset, like, you know, no Ubers on the board, full numbers on each side, as Squid is the first one to die in the Shutter Trap. That's not what we want to see.
Yeah, and I mean, that's all they got to do, right? You have 2 minutes on the clock to 0. You win not by, you know, consistently beating them in Uber fights, by just making them keep bleeding. Catch these demo men, catch these engineers. You know, losing your sniper, not what you want to do. You want it to be the other way around. But Stranger now picking up 2, sniper and a scout. Those could be really big kills. They smell this round. Stranger making a hat trick onto Doctrine. 3 big classes down. Lemon caught out as well, so no miracle salvage. The 9v5 starting to walk forward. They're getting cap time in. Spock going to take out local man. Dakota trying to deny the super. Danmar coming in from orbit. Not going to find too much. The Uber onto the heavy. Not going to do too much. Tyler going to do a great job of denying that. As the cap coming in. Salty Pepper, the hero, on point with the bus doing what they can. Not going to be enough. Meelo, took a while for them to finally bring it home, but will get on the board. We are sitting 2-1, still in favor of Nonagon.
Yeah, what an interesting kind of salvage here. We saw Meelo run away with it at the beginning, sort of start to falter where Nonagon showing the frame are still in the game, but yeah, great job for Meelo to seal the deal.
Absolutely, and now we move in, you know, 2-1 still in favor of Nonagon, but Meelo definitely showing signs of life. But Nova Scout immediately taking the wind out of the sails. Alex going to be taking out. Sandwich going to be next, but good kills coming in. Squid finds Nova Scout. Lots of frags being traded here. It is a chaos fest, but it's going over in favor of Nonagon. That med pick going to be the difference maker. No heals throughout the mid, just going to push things ever so slightly in their favor. All that momentum coming right back to them after that lost round. Great shot by Nova Scout.
This is, yeah, 70% had here for Salty Pepper. Damar going back and holding down the ramp here. The rest of the combo kind of spinning over bats. We see Goose on the high ground. Yeah, we're looking to play against these sacks. Now, we saw a little bit, actually, even yesterday, an invite of like the medic playing on ramp in the spot that's super vulnerable. Salty Pepper here opting to play forward, and you actually want to surf like more towards, oh, there we go, a nice pause. You want to more surf towards Shutter or like, you know, kind of edge that way as medic. Like kind of playing more wide open on the point. Yes, you're a little bit more vulnerable to sniper, but you're less vulnerable to literally everything else. So yeah, again, this is a solid posture here out of Nonagon.
Oh, hearing we're getting a technical pause, Dolphin? Oh, hearing that looks like Meelo's med might be AFK. Never a good thing to see. Reminder that this will also be 90 seconds in the future. So wherever Alex is right now, presumably they are still at their keyboard. 90 seconds in the future is when they are not. But as you said, some good posturing right now. Something I want to talk about is that I feel like we've been, let's go back to the beginning, right? We were talking about, you mentioned something around, I'm trying to remember what the words were, about how like the teams, you know, have read the textbook, but they don't fully understand it yet. I think that was something right. You said. And you're seeing the kind of forward heavy on the box hold that is not out of place in Invite, but it feels like the teams have read like, oh, you put your heavy here and your demo here, but they haven't fully grasped that your heavy is like the absolute linchpin of that hold, and you sink all the beam into him and support him. The amount of times I've seen both Kega and Sandwich play exactly where Kega is right now and just you know, get sticky spammed over from bats onto the box. No counter spam, no beam, no nothing, and suddenly you lose your defensive heavy, you know, is rough to see for these players.
Yeah, I'm interested to see too, like, because yeah, like you mentioned that, even though maybe sometimes they don't like quite get the flow down of like what you're supposed to do and when, but it's interesting too to see like when that does fall apart, how does the other team capitalize? Like what doors does it open to them, number one. Number two, are they able to capitalize on those open doors, right? Yeah, there's like a lot kind of being figured out on the fly where, you know, like you mentioned in Invite, it's like, oh, well, their person is always going to be in position usually at the right time and usually with a good amount of health and usually back up. But when that's not happening, you have a lot of split decisions here in this case of like, okay, if we can get like an early pick on their heavy or the heavy's out of position or something like that, what does it look like for us to move on that? Is, you know, like there's so much kind of like mental calculus happening live on the server, huh?
Yeah, and something that's interesting too is that out of all the time I see casting, you know, oh, sniper's dead, demo's dead. What to me almost always is like the guaranteed sign of a push that's eventually going to go through is getting that defensive heavy on a Koth map. It's not the most pressing thing a lot of the times. It doesn't put up the most numbers, but it's so much health gone from the enemy team where like a lot of the threat that the defense poses doesn't have anything to back it up. Like the sniper and the demo are still as dangerous, but if you walk into them and start trading, you don't have to worry about this, you know, big 450 health kind of mini boss waiting in the back of the team. If you walk up and someone gets sniped but their heavy's dead, you can write that off as like a fine trade. You keep walking, you keep fighting, you keep exchanging. You bring your kind of 450 heavy, and it's almost like the rook in chess, right? Comes in late in the fight and can really start cleaning things up. And when those rooks are gone, you know, I'll go deeper into the chess metaphor right now. I see Rebels out in chat. You'll sometimes like if you lose a rook early, you won't notice it as much because the rooks aren't going to be out on the board. But when they finally do start mattering, that's when you really feel the loss.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, super cool to see, especially like, you know, the skill level out a lot of these players too is showing us a great amount, right? Like when we saw yeah, that like crazy 4K from Lemon and the crazy 4K from Squid. Like if you give these people a tactical position, they know how to dance, right? And yeah, I do think that like next step is like how do you create those tactical situations for yourself is definitely a lot harder, right? That level of foresight. But yeah, I mean these teams are playing fast. I mentioned it's always my like pet peeve when teams opt to like not really tried to win the game. That always disappoints me the most. But like, you know, if a team like should have sacked and instead they do nothing for 40 seconds, like you get 5 matches of 40 seconds and the game's over. So you threw away 1/5 of the round. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, I think both these teams are, yeah, showing us like really strong adaptations. Like, you know, it's still so competitive after all this, after so many rounds back and forth. Yeah, I'm with you in this level of like what makes this kind of play interesting.
You get 4.5 batches of 20 seconds or 40 seconds.
Excuse me.
I'm like, wait a second, am I missing? Is my math going crazy? No, but I agree with you there. And I guess kind of to bring it back around, like, what's unfortunate is that you spend so much time trying to get these tactical situations that when you just give them that advantage by leaving your heavy out to dry on a box, right? Like, doesn't take a lot of genius for Squid to take a few steps forward, you know, discounting the stickies that are right in front of him, stand still, shoot 5 stickies at Tegaman, and get a kill. That's not putting a lot of tactical thinking in there. That's just seeing someone else putting your heavy there and then thinking that's going to win and not realizing why you play your heavy there and why you need to sink heals into him, play around him, why your demo needs to also be supported to support your heavy, and everything kind of revolves around that.
I remember back in Gold, where like maybe it was my first season in Gold, maybe second, I don't know, but we had like a platinum player, you know, basically the old era of Advance and Invite, and again, like I'm someone who watches a lot of demos, ton of reviews, everything like that, and you know, my demo, who was that like very rude and also Invite player who had moved down to play with us, called for me to like cross the sight line, and I'm like, no, I know the sniper's hard scoped on this, and it's like, yeah, this is Gold, the snipers can't hit you, cross the sight line. And yeah, he was right. Every time he called it, like, the snipers don't always hit you, so it does make a big difference here too, where it's like you mentioned that like getting the heavy pick. Sorry,
who is this demo?
Oh, it was Lazy Purple. But
okay.
Anyway,
huh.
Point is, like when you're reading the textbook again, it's like, oh, if the sniper is like got a hard scope on our medic shouldn't cross. But like, there's a world in this div where like the sniper doesn't hit that shot every time. Maybe they hit it like 3 times out of 10 or something. But like you said as well, that like, you know, having a full buff heavy on point is really hard to focus fire on. But if the heavy's gone, suddenly you can peek these doors and not get that punished. Where like, yeah, in Invite, we think of the sniper as being the punishing one who stops you from peeking. In this case, having the heavy be that forward on crates, and then even if you shoot the heavy, it's you or maybe one person helping, so like 2 people, not like an Invite where we see like 6 of us will focus fire the heavy all at the same time, so the heavy becomes a non-issue. So it is interesting, yeah, like how, like, yeah, like the skill and positioning and stuff like kind of lock in together here where, yeah, everyone's going to like have different strengths and weaknesses at this point.
Goes into like when classes are threats, right? That you don't always think about. Like, yeah, if there's snipers up, it's hard to push, but like sniper's like a hurdle to get over in the beginning, right? Where like, yeah, sometimes you walk out of Shudder, your demo is immediately gone. But if their sniper, as you said, misses that shot, once the fight breaks out, suddenly the sniper's not as big of a threat. Like, yes, he's liable to just completely, you know, quick scope the ever-loving crap out of someone, right? And hit him with a 150. But you're not in that fear of like, oh my god, you know, I'm gonna get instantly deleted. You're already in a fight. There, you could be standing on 3 stickies and getting instantly deleted anyway. A lot of that kind of pressure is resolved, and more often than not, it's replaced by that, oh wait, no, there's a 450-pound behemoth walking at me with a minigun and I'm getting shredded, right? Like, the threat level changes of those classes, so getting into those fights is really important, and any way you can do that, you know, immediately puts things in your favor. Tying back to, I want to tell you another thing you said, right, about how, like, you only have so much time, you know, play the game. Something I've really been liking out of Meelo is that they have been taking their Ubers so quickly after they get them, right? Like, Alex and Squid are getting forward positioning when they're at 90%, so that by the time Alex takes over, you know, you're already holding down M2. And over the course of a match, the 4 or 5 seconds you consistently gain on every Uber will really add up. As looks like we did get word that Meelo is getting a ringer in for Alex. We just saw the repause right there. Not 100% sure who it is. We'll see as they come in. And I think there's another repause right there. But again, 90 seconds in the future, we'll see Alex's digital ghost for the next minute or so before There comes in. There's the unpause.
We're live here. Kegaman still with that nice solid buff here forward. Now, Sandwich, Redacted, Untamed, and who is that? Thomas, all 4 players on the ramp, but actually just opting to back up. Oh yeah, the super's coming through, so I guess they'll want to get a little bit healthier, get ready to go in on that timing with the team, and make sure they push together. Here comes the Uber, and he gets forced so early from Denmark.
They're coming in from orbit to find Alex. That Uber gonna be forced out. Salty Pepper users in return. Better Uber on the side of the defense. You feel they might have been able to milk that a little bit longer, but Doctrine finds Squid, consistently been fighting those pigs. That said, Tyler and Redacted gonna run up on Salty Pepper, take out the medic. Defense gonna crumble right away. That is exactly what you are looking for. First cap of the round coming in for Meelo, just about a little over a minute off the clock for Nonagon. And they're gonna be sitting on pretty big ad. I just hope Alex DC doesn't cost them anything. Sack gonna come in, then Damar just goes right past him onto bats, gets some damage in, and will eventually get reflect killed by Tyler. Spot gonna go down, but otherwise Sack is not gonna find too much. Alex now on 85. Just I'm getting anxious right now. Ren's off to the side, and I think yep, there's the DC. So losing 90% Uber, not what you like to see. And there's the here we go. There is the first pause. Alex still in right now. Not sure if we're gonna see that ringer or if Alex is back. Looks like Alex is moving, so maybe no ringer coming in after all.
Now this this contention is still happening here on point. The first Uber does come out, only 90% on Salty Pepper. Let's see, Kegaman going down first, Dakota second. And they end up just losing at the last second. Doctor going down. And Goose, wait, on a tear up here. Now onto Redacted. And getting the pack. Hang on a second. Yeah, that's a great cleanup here. But of course, the frags strongly favoring Meelo here. Going to be set up on point, but with this ad.
Yeah, Protected putting in chat, easy ad. Salty Pepper's able to escape. So all those kills well and good. Ultimately, though, only ends up buying them time. They're going to respawn. Sandwich now. Underbats on the Tomislav this time, not a full rev. As they go with Doctor, get skyboxed by the sticky trap. Going to find an empty point waiting for them as they come in. Lemon bumping into Redacted on ramp. About to be the only action. Doctor a little bit forward, though. Getting walked at by Tyler. Nova Scout stabbed out. Tyler will go down for that as a lot of damage comes in onto Dakota. Lemon equalizes the snipers, though. But Spock, Thomas, and Squid all team up. They find 3. Salty Pepper and the combo alive for the time being. Spock coming in, sniffed out, not going to find anyone. But the Uber does get forced. They will take out Kega, and Salty Pepper are going to be first to run for the hills.
There's a, let's see, 70% advantage, again, here for Salty Pepper, so these ad pushes kind of trading back and forth. That's sort of what you want, like you want to take your advantage and press it as far as it'll take you. Whoop, a little quick stutter there, just for fun. 90% now on Salty Pepper, so let's see what it looks like for them to basically take this full combo push here. Doctrine getting healed up, not finding any way. Oh, Goose here with them. Great, so working our way off bats, but hang on, Doctrine is getting number 1 called out. Number 2 kind of shredded here by Sandwich. They're taking the Uber now, but they give the defense so long to adjust. Finally, they use from behind their own boxes. Real head scratch on this one. The defense is long gone. They are more than safe. They are more than happy to back up, keep this advantage for their own medic. Yeah, I mentioned that this is where, like, you gotta have that, like, bloodlust a little bit, you know? You gotta hit them fast and hit them hard. Right now, Salty Pepper actually getting blasted by Thomas, flying in over the high ground, goes down for it, but now it's going to be a full advantage for Alex, who uses on the point, holds the point, and there's only 14 seconds left on the clock.
2 disaster class Ubers back and forth. The Uber coming out from Nonagon was late. They lost players on the side. They used it on no one. But the Uber coming right back in from Meelo was the exact same thing. They used when they were 4 down. Already bled players, already overextended. Could have just held on to it. And as the cap was about to come in from Nonagon, Spock comes in from the cold, finds Salty Pepper and Nova Scout. Now you're forced between, you know, letting them get spawns in or extending your med and sniper spawns. They're going to pick the former. And it's not even going to matter. Meelo going to sweep right back in. They're going to take a 2-0 right here. And we're sitting at 2-2. We're all tied up.
Yeah, swinging right back. That, yeah, super impressive. I think it's great to see, again, this, like, level of adaptation, right, for these teams. Like, what are your strengths? How well do you adjust? What does it look like for you to lose and then recover? So really great play out of Meelo to kind of recognize what's working, what's not. Hopefully these, like the AFK and like technical issues are more resolved at this point. We'll see, but yeah, very solid play out of them. I think, again, at the last second here, Sandwich was a big difference maker of like, they should get this for free, but they're not doing it, so I'll just make it harder for them to cap after, delaying for spawns. And again, it kind of just worked. Like, they straight up couldn't get in.
Okay, I gotta give props to Squid right here as saying, oh, Squid's, getting a lot of damage, yeah, but you're dying for it, and it only matters, that's only so great when you keep dying for it. Squid said, okay, well, screw you, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm going to keep nearly top-deathing my team, but just put out even more damage to make it worth it. Second most deaths on the team, dropping 640 on demo. It's like if you're going to, chain feed to get 100 more DPM in their demo, that's one thing. But once you start nearing on 150, 200, that 650 DPM mark, it starts to almost be like, okay, well, if you're going to fly in and delete 3 people on their team every time, well, obviously that's going to work. Do obviously have to then call out really solid play on the side of Alex and Tyler. Just, you have a demo that's, maybe a little bit volatile on the server, right? Putting out a lot of damage, taking a lot instead. Tyler staying alive, 14-3 on the Pyro. Good damage. Really a lot of those 6 kills on the Spy, right? 2 on the Scout, 3 on the Soldier. Gonna be a lot of cleanup. But when you have your demo dying that often, being able to kind of come in, clean up on all that damage, make sure your men's staying protected, really valuable thing.
That's a great shout out. I look at the same sentiment where, like we maybe drawing a parallel. Much love to Exile. People talk a lot with Exile where he's like got such sick aim, but then will go down for it. But times like where we say like trying Exile for dying before the Uber is very different from here where Squid is in all these Ubers, but then doing damage outside. As we hit half number 3, the score's tied at 2-2. Whoever gets 2 more rounds wins.
Yeah, there will be no more halves here. Next time these 2 teams stop playing, one of them will have one. Denmark with the Fade Bomb right off the bat, like always. Kega gonna be the first going down. Dakota's gonna be next. Squid blazing through here, as we've said. Almost all of the kills now going in favor. Salty Pepper gonna get taken out by Thomas. As well. Stranger onto Doctrine. It is a bloodbath. Local Man attempts to 1v9. Gets gunned down by the Mini. That's such a great alias, man. Like it was
Goose Wade running it down and just like 3 shots. Alex here on point. Again, another one of those salvages. Losing Salty Pepper so quick. It's like, this is bad losing our medic, but it's disastrous if we don't get theirs. Again, more damage from Squid just taking care of Lemon in the back lines. So there's now a solid add for Salty Pepper. However, the point did come down in favor.
Look how low the healths are on everyone on point. That Mentas being so late is on such a weird timer. Not to mention, Alex going to spend 9 seconds spawning before healing. They're just going to run down Sandwich. Squid going to be next. Not going to be able to land that Miracle Pipe onto Goose. Kills those. Stranger answering back now on a 5 streak on Bats with Alex. Finds Nova Scout and Goose. We are at a stalemate, but Meelo have the point. Time is ticking in their favor. Lemon gonna find Thomas as a slight opening, and now there's 4 dead on red. A couple of those coming up right now, but here's when you need that killer instinct, right? They're down 4, just walk.
The off Ubers here is where you really see what someone's made out of. Time to earn their salt. Salty Pepper on point. There's a quick peek coming out from Bats here. Squid, Alex, Tyler all kind of raining down from one side. Redacted, Spock, Thomas, and Untamed on the other side. So this kind of contention for the point is doing a lot of damage, splitting the defense, making them look both directions. So Squid is poised really well here to work in with Redacted for this Uber advantage. But I hope they move in soon. Here we go, charging across point.
Yeah, that said, charging across and finding themselves in the respawn chamber. So a couple kills down on both sides right now, but Meelo have the numbers and the point presence. Alex, uber deep into Shutter, gonna be walking out alone. Lost track of that, did not expect to see a shiny medic walking alone out of the other team's Shutter. I think Tyler was getting in there deep and gave the ultimate sacrifice for the team. Coming in with that cap, but it is going to be full ad for Salty Pepper. Walking back in now. Alex already playing your Shutter. Lemon going in. Not looks like he's going to be finding anything.
full ad, or sorry, well, full Uber, 50% ad. But wait a second, Thomas going in really fast here. Salted Pepper protected by this death ball of 7 players. Sometimes players wonder, like, how do we best protect our meta to keep them safe? It's like, just have everyone else be there. But okay, it ends up actually forcing the Uber only from the damage Doctrine happened to take here. They keep Doctrine alive, but now they give him a massive advantage, pushing 90% here on Alex.
Yeah, and really good kind of just play there for Redacted to catch Nova Scout out alone, run up, take him out, means Kega can just stay on point, start drilling down Doctrine, eventually gets the force with the mini-sentry, as they are now going to use back into them right here. It's going to be Sandwich getting stabbed out, though. Doctrine does go down, but with Stranger and Kega, we are losing some high-value classes very quickly. Lots of trades. I think it's going in favor of Meelo, though. Alex going to not really be healing anyone for quite some time, finally getting back on the beam, but Salty Pepper going down. Will be Thomas on ramp, finding that med pick, as that said, the cap going to be heavily delayed right now.
There is 25% ad on Alex, but here we go. The offense actually charging right away. Redacted the only one down. Thomas trying to stifle this, gets air blasted by Dakota, lives for it for now, but a stab from Lemon. There we go. On to Stranger on point. No sniper means that yours has free reign. Let's see where they take him. They're taking Nova Scout to ramp for that long angle while the combo spams off bats. Salted Pepper, Dakota, and Doctrine all hurt and all still pushing. This is what we love to see. Nova Scout, they're actually getting really pressured out here by Thomas, but okay, Thomas going down means his push is theirs for the taking, except Alex is on 95. And there we go! Spock obliterating them here in Shutter. Salted Pepper actually going down to Stranger, and now we have full ad, but no enemy medic for Alex here, holding the point with time advantage too.
Yeah, Salty Pepper just running into too much damage. That headshot really ended up being overkill. A body shot, a no-scope would have done. As some good damage onto Redacted, going to live on a single health point. Nova Scout, though, onto Stranger, opening up a ton of space for the team. Here's the kind of Chad walk across point we're looking for. Redacted going to make him turn around as the Uber comes out. Going to start scattering them. Nova Scout and Dakota both going down. Salty Pepper's kited back as Sandwich and Untamed going to go down as well. Here comes Doctrine, but getting forced into lower. They're going to go for the full wrap. They are not going to take it safe. Come back up on their own side. Enough dead, including Alex. Going to be the big one. Going to be the cap here, but Meelo on the verge of pulling ahead in this match.
65% here for Salty Pepper, so okay, they have the ad, they have the point, but if they falter once, that's a round in favor of Meelo. So Meelo working their way forward. They're not going to have time for a push before this Uber, so we're looking for a sack as quickly as possible, I would say.
Exactly, yeah, you don't want to lose any more time here because, I mean, Salty Pepper has Uber too. Alex still built. So you need to get that force out. You need to get your Uber running. You only have a minute to do. Stranger going down, not going to help anything. Sandwich is going to be next. Squid on the roof, going to try to hit Salty Pepper, hiding in the dispenser for their life. Going to end up eating a stray sticky at the end of that, but sack wave diverted for now. Alex still on 55, so more time to be burned. This is likely going to come down to this last exchange.
Working our way back into this fight. It feels like, I think maybe Alex isn't building very well. I saw them not building at all actually on the way back to spawn during the sack. So this Uber should have come up basically now, but we're still just posturing, trying to build up that last little bit. Spock is stuck in behind, but like it's been waiting so long, they're getting caught out. Local man, I don't know, yeah, just trying to follow Spock, I guess, on the bats, not working out. Lemon now decloaking maybe behind this team pushing off bats as well. But Alex still not going. The Uber now is going to hopefully contest the point in time for overtime, taking it across on Pyro and Scout.
Yep, Lemon now with a 5 streak opens up onto Stranger. That's going to be huge. Spock out next. Pick class is dead. Nonagon. The Uber doesn't come off. They're just going to take it. So 2 rounds for Nonagon, 2 rounds for Meelo. Nonagon now coming in with round number 3. They are on match point right now. Meelo backs against the wall. Got that one close, but weren't able to pull it through.
There's no Ubers on the... sorry, yeah, that's quite the round going down for... whoa, quick snipe here from Stranger and a quick one back from Nova Scout. However, that pick on the medic is going to be a little bit more valuable here. So the score is 3-2, excuse me, that's what I meant to say, for Nonagon right now. 1 more and they take the map. 2 more and Meelo takes it, but right now Meelo is busy taking the mid fight. Every journey begins with a first step.
I don't know what happened there, but right as Salty Pepper got headshot, Danmar went for that fade bomb over to like bad side and got penciled up the Mars. And I'm not sure how that happened. He ends up landing with 30 health and was just forced to, you know, try to salvage jump in with one bullet able to kill him. So, yeah, really disastrous mid for Nonagon. But Meelo, it's exactly what you want to see. Backs against the wall. That said, Lemon finds Thomas. No soldier to maintain ramp, but are they going to take advantage of it? Nova Scout in Shutter. Doesn't need ramp. Dakota on the jetpack, my love! Jumping forward, going to make them look at him. Not really getting too much else, though, as Danmark gets taken out by the heavy. Right over point, doesn't even make it into the count.
My soul just got so heavy. Who was it? No, Doctrine rolled out. Got like peppered by the mini on the roof, tried to spam the mini back, got hit by the ball, got hit by the cleaver, and then got like licked by the mini one last bullet and died to it. So just on rollout, going down to all like the toys and little Highlander hazards, as it were. Now coming back for revenge out Shutter. Trading Ubers on point, and Meelo is actually very deep with this. Salty Pepper getting blasted by Tyler. Tyler likely to go down, but is just getting juggled in the skybox. Redacted diving forward onto Salty Pepper goes down. Spock fighting Lemon here on bats themselves. Wait, Untamed jumping across bats onto Salty Pepper gets the pick.
Man, the big engineer play. If only that was local, man. We could have had such a funny call. But Untamed, though, as you said, seeing their moment, seizing it, walking forward, finding that med pick, really securing them this point. And I mean, again, backs against the wall. They've taken a minute and a half off the clock already. No caps yet for Nonagon. Danmar, you know, trying to jump forward, going to be caught out. They know he's there waiting. And ad's still in favor of Alex right now. So very good things cooking for Meelo.
Alex is actually so forward that Danmar had to like wrap back around, and Lemon has a whole football field to cross when your medic is this forward, like trying to decloak behind enemy lines, but the medic is not really behind their own lines. So great play out of Alex. They want to back up, rotate the Shutter, and take the super in where you get, you know, kind of to take it from the center of the action here. The cap, wait a second, they get Goose first. The cap does not come, oh, yeah, it did come down. Okay, there we go. Anyway, Squid redacted charging forward. Thomas even buying a bunch of space, getting blasted to safety of all places. But now full ad for Salty Pepper.
Yep, Danmar coming up over the roof, gonna force Untamed out. Good surf right there as the beam will catch Dr. Lemon. Not so lucky in that Shutter. And it's gonna be a sandwich picking up two right there, as well as a stab onto Nova Scout. It's on a lot of the attackers. They're gonna continue to hold the point, actually. They're gonna have to give it right back out. Finally, a bit of a foothold coming to the round, but losing Kega with the rest of the team already dead, not going to spell good things. Danmar with the salvage comes in, finds Alex walking out of Shutter. That's going to put a halt on the momentum right there, because now they're going to walk forward. Alex up in two. They are going to wait out the spawn. Comes up a minute off the clock right now for Nonagon, but they are still easily in the back foot. That said, good news is about 65% ad for Salty Pepper.
Yeah, they're right now trying to work off bats anyway. Spock is calling this from the back lines. Thomas looking for that right opportunity, holding down the ramp, and wow, Spock getting Nova Scout. That means that there's kind of a lot of free reign for Meelo to play wide on the point. Right now, Nonagon working in with this Uber. The Uber does come out, but yeah, Tyler and Alex working their way safely to bats, though they are met by Danmar, taken out quick. So the point capture is going to come down, but yeah, we love the position out of Meelo where they're like kind of ready to contest sort of now.
Yeah, and you just want to see this cap come over. Time is just ticking over. They are going to finally get it. 9 seconds left, but they lose Lemon as they do. So that's probably going to be in a long spawn. That said, Squid getting sniped out by Nova Scout should stall any attempts at a push. Alex, though, coming up on 92, we do have a pause coming in. Tac pause we're hearing coming out. So,
ooh.
Interesting to see when that's going to be, right? Because with only 9 seconds left for Meelo, anyone can cap, or you know, and then the tech gets caused when you're 3-3 before the last round. Alternatively, right, could be in the middle of a round. There's about a minute and a half left on the clock for Nonagon. Could be Meelo calling it because they've been unable to grasp it back from them. Does not mean that Meelo gets the win here. So anything could happen. That said, I had to bet I'd probably say this happens before the last round.
Ooh, I'll counter bet and say that my guess is Meelo does get the capture, get this round win. The score's tied up at 3-3. And then someone in saying like, all right, it's all tied up. We have to win this round. What does a win look like for us? That's my guess. I'm going to say that I think, the score's 3-3 in real time right here with our spectator client. We are 90 seconds behind what actually happened in the server. So, yeah, that's my guess anyway.
Time will tell right now. I mean, I'm just hitting tab right now. Squid at the top of the scoreboard, really been having a crazy game ever since the end of that first round. Lemon on the other side, equally coming up as big. I mean, it gets to the point, right, where like you'll see one team get a good pick, be it like Squid catching someone, Nova Scout finds a pick, and then everyone starts answering. You'll see, oh, okay, well, they win the SVS, but then one of the spies gets the sniper, and then the other sniper finds a demo, and then a heavy catches out a pyro or something, and then a scout dies to a mini sentry, and it's like, okay, how's my math here? Who's got the numbers lead? Who's got the positioning lead? A lot of the times, just kind of got to wait and see how it's going to shuffle out. Hard to tell in the moment.
Yeah, I'm really so excited that like, yeah, we talk about these teams like having that kind of like instinct to win, and what we've seen out of both teams, like, yeah, sometimes they're a little slow to the draw, but like, I don't know, you can like feel like they're discussing amongst like with each other. Like maybe someone has an idea and the team like should be drawing right now, but instead they're talking about like how to take their next Uber when they're only 40% or something like that. So, even when I chastise some of the teams for saying like you got to be in this one, sometimes that can be all the difference of like, hey, if I can take some downtime now, yes, we're not going to sack, however we will get better Ubers in the future. That I think is a big win for these teams, and again, based on how close this match is, how well they're playing. So yeah, it really feels like anyone's game, which is reflected by the score being so close.
Yep. Do you want to give a quick update on what's going on in Invite? I don't have the full logs, but it looks like M&K are taking their lumps against Team Fun. I can only find one half from each map. They've played Product and Asheville, but M&K against Team Fun on Koth, turning out about exactly how you would expect. The half on Product, the kills were 96-35. So
that's wild.
It's a baptism, right? They win their match against Pastas, and now they get to play their the real playoff match. That said, in the lower bracket, Pastas versus Agar Grove, we put a little bit of doubt on their name, and Pastas, echoing their performance last night, went down 0-4 early on a Koth map. I think it was Asheville, before coming into Vigil, and they just took the first half back. So Pastas up 1-0 on Vigil, down 0-1 in the map score. They take another half on Vigil, they'll go to map 3, and if they manage to take Agar Grove, that'd be crazy. But we're right here with the unpause.
We're back. I gotta give it a quick hard reload scheme. But yeah, let's see if my prediction comes to fruition. So if Meelo manages to get this point capture and we have a quick little stutter in rollout for the next round, we'll see. Right now, Squid Redacted flying across. Doctrine doing the ski jump out. Thomas cleaning up, Thomas was local man cleaned up by Thomas on the ramp. And Salty Pepper taking the Uber back to cross point after dropping a couple players though.
Yep, and that Uber is going to come back in. I'm like, are they going to cap it? What happens if they cap right away? And then, how does that work for my pause timing? But no, the Uber comes back out from Salty Pepper. They will manage to hold the point. We are at 1:09 to 9 seconds right now, just under a minute lead for Meelo, but Nova Scout Nonagon in control of their own destiny. Thomas coming in, finds Nova Scout, deletes him off the map, will get chased out, but ton of kills going over in favor of Meelo. It's now, it's an 8v5, not looking good for Nonagon. Doctor's going to go down next as this cap about to come in. Spawn's just coming up, 9 seconds for a miracle to happen if you're Nonagon. Elsewise, we're going to Golden Cap. Uber pop
the Uber here.
No magic to be found.
Wow, and Salty Pepper, I think, actually, did they go down? Yes, at the last second, Salty Pepper went down 97%. I actually got a great tip on Medic where I was told that anytime I die over 90%, it's my own fault for not building better. That advice at first I was like, you don't get it, man, but they got it. Oh, wow, that advice stuck with me. So if only they'd been building a little bit better, we would have an Uber to speak of in the last moment there, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, it's usually how it works. But Redacted going to be the first one going in. Lots of kills going over in favor of Nonagon right now. Sandwich going to be the big one. Local man sniped out by a stranger, but probably going to be, not the game-changing kill as a Kega, Doctrine, Salty Pepper, and Goose all squatted up on point. Going to get that cap in. Stranger going for the peak. Will be chased all the way out to Bats to make sure they don't get a little bit too aggro in peak. As Stranger, that said, will help slow down the cap time. Maybe give them time to respawn. Gives time for Thomas to jump forward, get some good damage in, and they're going to find Goose right as the cap goes over. So that is a long spawn for their scout to be on.
Wow, I watched in that mid, I watched Doctrine wait for a bow for probably 1,000 years. Wait a second, Thomas on the Salty Pepper forces the Uber real quick. Doctrine is not even part of this Uber, is like already just doing well on Bats, but now Alex and Squid, ooh, they use early and they have no chase. Salty Pepper's Uber was bad, but then, what's that phrase? It's like sending good money after bad. Like, you don't really gain anything by going all in this case. Their Uber was already a mess, and you responded by taking your own mess of an Uber. But in any case, the point does come down. Really not too much time taken off the clock here as we reset. Basically, these Ubers are close to even. Squid getting healed up, Thomas going back to level out here. So, yeah, as the dust settles, it looks like the next Uber advantage, the Uber trade is going to happen with Meelo having the point, but they're down 2 pretty quick.
Yep, and that's going to be big classes for the defense. Your Pyro and your Soldier. It's a lot of area denial coming through. Even more, Sandwich going to be next. Spock gets the Kukri, and Alex is just going to have to give up the point, running back out to spawn with Redacted as the cap should come through. Really no contest. Goose got hit by that ornament, but will make it out. Gets an arrow. Caps up. We're about dead even in time. Dead even in Ubers, but now point control in favor of Nonagon. We are 3-3, winner takes all in this match, and we could not be closer.
Yeah, I'm full clench here. This Uber does come out. Shutter, Dakota, and Pegaman taking it back. Wow, Dakota just saying, do not pass go, do not collect 200. Straight to jail with the... And now, okay, the recommit off Bats. Stranger is on this nice long angle. We're trying to go for the shot here onto maybe Kegerman, but, Sandwich is kind of buying these, turning the heads. Redacted over the roof, spamming them all the way back on ramp. So what's happening here? Nonagon gets to heal up and go Shutter. So they get to basically explode on the opponents here before the cap goes down. But they're actually, taking the long way? Much more dubious now. You don't want to peek into the enemy roof here. Yeah, they can't get close enough to the point, and Salty Pepper just goes down to regular spam. Yeah, that is not the play, but very creative. Points for drawing.
Yeah, Tom's the heads up too, knowing they're just going to be sitting and just comes on roof, gets the kills. That said, all the frags going back in favor of Nonagon. Their med goes down, and they activate. Who's going to take out Alex with the pocket pistol at the end of that as an exclamation point. They are going to hold on to this point, and what looked like a bad play from them going to be turned around through sheer force of will. Pit class is activating as well, and they just keep the numbers on Meelo bleeding, and they are now in the driver's seat to win this round. A minute advantage, slight Uber ad. Meelo needs to pull something out of their bag of tricks right now as they want to even this round out and take it.
Oh, and just if anyone's curious, yeah, the pause was between rounds here, so hearty congratulations to me. Thank you very much. We now have a sack play coming in from basically Meelo is looking to kind of do whatever damage they can. Danmar with sort of like a counter sack again, like when the enemy has all charged forward at your medic, theirs is kind of vulnerable, right? Even if they have only one person on the medic, like if you win that 1v1, you can win the 1v2, huh? But no, Salty Pepper coming up on a slight ad here, holding this point for a while. There's only 20 seconds left on the clock, and the super coming up means basically a guaranteed overtime for the post fight.
Yeah, you're going to need to see Spock in Shutter, who's getting caught out. No miracle play coming out of the spy. Who's popped up? Will not even go down to the crater. Uber popped out right now. Alex comes in, but not your ideal Uber targets. Squid's going to jump forward. Lots of players popping around on point. More presence right now from Meelo, but that wrangled Vinny putting out so much denial. It's going to be a bloodbath. Nonagon, what had been a close game and really put their stamp on it right at the end. They're going to pull it out 4-3. And I'm going to need to check the standings afterwards, but they may have just swapped themselves into second seed for main this season.
Yeah, this is a big day for the Kega crew. Congrats to Kega Man, yeah, holding it down on this one. They're Yeah, the Nonagon I played so sharp. I'm super impressed with what I saw out of them. I also want to take a look at the logs. I'll see if I can find again any standout performers. I mean, there are so many. It feels like everyone kind of pulling their weight at different times here. Let me pull up round number 3. There we go.
Man,
Wow.
my goat.
Who you got your eyes on here?
Local man going 13, 10, and 6 on the NG. Not but no, I mean really good performances from Goose, Nova Scout, Lemon dropping 18 and 13 on Spy. Didn't feel like I was saying that name all that often, but you know, these fights were so bloody, you know, if he's getting a stab and a gun in every fight, but he's not the first killer to, probably not gonna notice too much if I'm being honest, but really good performances all around. Great kill spread too on Lemon. 2 Scout, 2 Soldier, 3 Demo, 3 Heavy, 3 NG, 1 Med, 4 Sniper. You know, I mean, maybe trade out some of those. I mean, honestly, like killing NG, if that's like a defensive NG on a Wrangler, that's like getting a sniper pick. It feels like. You know, you take out that 300 HP Wrangled Mini, you take out the NG who keeps spawning them or healing it. Quality of the pick matters.
And I think as well that Thomas heard me. Yeah, shout out Thomas. I've worked with Thomas a lot over the years, but both soldiers getting 12 kills, both getting 19 deaths, and both getting 5,800 damage. That's as close as you can get out here, evening it up. Even with, I guess, Thomas being on the losing end of these, you know, this half being 2 points in favor of Nonagon and 1 half being in favor of Meelo. So, yeah, well played there. Both of these medics, like you mentioned, Salty Pepper actually winning and having more deaths. My love, that's a stat line, a rogue stat line if I've ever seen one. And yeah, like really no major drops to speak of out of these medics. Yeah, a lot of heads up plays. Like even both these pyros putting up solid numbers. Specifically, who would that be? Tyler going 14 and 6, which like, yeah, finding kills on pyro is hard. Sometimes you also just get caught out in like ad pushes and stuff like that. You have to give up your life. So going this positive is, I think, a big indication of their skill and how well they work as a combo, like you had mentioned earlier.
You know, you're forgetting that, yes, Salty Pepper had more deaths, but Salty Pepper also did 117 more damage than Alex. Thus, they're 117 times better.
Yeah,
Rick taught me that, and it's never done me wrong. No, but I mean, the logs here, it's when you have a game that's close, right? I mean, you look at the kills over the half, it's up 3 for Nonagon over that 2-1. You're not going to be able to glean too much out of them, and it's going to come down to the individual moments, right? It's going to come down to the fact that Nonagon, it really felt like was just in that last round able to shape up and consistently find kills on Meelo walking in. Make sure that it felt like none of the fights they were taking were ever 9v9s. Felt like someone was always dead.
Yeah, honestly, very impressive play. I'm yeah, like I talked about how like that sort of next level of like yeah, using the chess analogy, like if you give someone a chess puzzle, they might be really good at finding the tactic and finding the solution. How do you create a situation in chess where you have a winning move, right? That's way harder. So yeah, for both of these teams, honestly, but especially for Nonagon, like that again, proactive play, saying like, actually, we're going to back up and rotate. We're going to push our advantage now when it's a risk versus say, hey, we're going to cut our losses here, reevaluate, reassess, go back in as a group. Yeah, like making those basically executive calls is really difficult, but so valuable. So I'm super impressed with what we saw out of both teams. And yeah, Nonagon happened to execute just like, again, a little bit more sharp. A couple more of these star plays, like shout out to people like Lemon and Goose, again, doing crazy damage across the entire game. I feel like Goose is at the top of the scoreboard for every round. And even though we didn't see any like crazy plays out of them, like consistently Goose was showing a lot of prowess here. So yeah, really well done out of them. And yeah, actually that is true. I believe Goose is the top frag in the entire match.
Yeah, I mean, Goose as well, a couple of really just, I say couple because I think it was 2, but some really just like out of left field 1v9 kills onto Alex to like salvage what had been a bad minute. Where like, you know, they lose players, you see the soldier in the demo jump in, you're like, oh, okay, here comes the sack, they deny it, everything's okay. And then 5 seconds later, you're like, wait, why is Alex in the kill feed? What? And it was Goose who I guess just snuck in either, from the front door or the back door, one out of the two, ran up and assassinated the men. And, those getting those salvage plays right, it means that suddenly you have the option of drying point. You no longer have to get everyone spawned up, get on bats, get buffed, run a sack, hit the force, respawn. You burn 30, 40 seconds off the clock like that. But if you're able to salvage onto the med, you actually have ad by the fact of their med dying later. You can just dry right in.
Yeah, it is crazy. Like, I don't know. Yeah, like if we say there were maybe like 4 salvages that really worked from Nonagon onto Meelo, if you like had none of those salvages, the score is like a 2-4 instead of a 4-3. Like you just, the match so sways in the enemy's direction. You give them so much momentum into each round that you have an almost impossible uphill battle. So yeah, these salvages, like you mentioned, are really worth their weight in gold. Like the unsung hero, where even as we discussed on mid, it's like, oh no, this medic has advantage and they won the mid. So to mitigate that basically is the way that you get your team back into each of these rounds, so that you start capping the point when only 30 seconds is off the clock instead of when 2 minutes are off the clock, right?
Exactly. And I want which of those two teams is going to have if the match is already in, because I know that Nonagon was down underneath Meelo, but no, just went in. They're actually tied for match points right now, and Nonagon have the tiebreaker. So big things happening at top main. It looks like it's going to be Teamy McDweemy as your first seed, and then as long as Nonagon can equal or match Meelo's result on steal, they'll have just hijacked second seed.
Yeah, this and well earned as well. I am excited to see how these teams are so neck and neck. So I'm guessing it is I actually didn't double check, but so we're on week 6 and this is a full season of advance. So that would be next week is week 7 just before playoffs. Is that right?
Yeah. So next week will be the final match in main before playoffs. I think a lot of the top teams have all played each other, so you'll probably have the top teams kind of reaching down a bit to play more mid-table. So the 1, 2, 3 seem pretty locked up, and it's going to be the 4, 5, 6 that are going to be fighting it out to get into playoffs. That said, though, 16 playoff, and if you make first or second seed, you get that bye, so you're immediately guaranteed pretty much guaranteed a spot. Is that double elim? I think it's double elim. Yes, it is. So that said, you're still going to be guaranteed, not losing in that beginning. I don't know what I'm saying, and I just pulled up the stream on the other tab, and I'm hearing myself talk, and now I can't follow myself at all.
No, you're all good. I appreciate you checking. Yeah, like thanks for checking the RGL page real quick. And if I could ask for one more check, and maybe this one is audience participation time. If you want to do me a favor really quick and just check merch.rgl.gg. We have I heard, like, I don't know if I can confirm, but I heard there's a sort of like a fall season of merch that, yeah, you see it now. It's on the market here. Afterwards, it might be just gone forever. Please take a look. Yeah, exclamation merch are there in the chat. Thank you so much. We have a ton of fun designs, awesome merch, like stuff like mouse pads and notebooks that I love. There's also a kind of rundown for on the homepage, basically, to support RGL directly with one of those like subscription memberships where we have a bunch of different tiers, a bunch of different perks. You get all different types of thank yous, all different types of access to content. And, this league here, us playing Team Fortress 2, and, we're coming up on the 20-year anniversary here of Team Fortress 2 being out there in the world. So, for everyone to keep this league alive and kicking and having so much fun doing it is all thanks to everyone helping contribute. And, all the people making this all happen, both behind the scenes and on the scene. Everyone on camera, everyone behind the camera, everyone next to the camera, above the camera, and below the camera. Thanks to everyone who's a part of this league. Appreciate if you take a look at the merch page here.
Yep, absolutely. And I think that's about to wrap it up for us. I know we just got word in. Pasta's repeating what they did last night, coming on for the 2-0 on Vigil. They're going to be taking it to map 3 over to Upward against Agar Grove. I think that's going to wrap it up from us. We've had enough TF2 over the past 2 days, but pretty sure Dolphin's going to throw it over to one of them as a host, so don't go anywhere.